Sorry. Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. If you saw our show last week, if you saw our show last week, live from the parts unknown. This is the Clem and Claw show. Back on your television screens. Second and fourth Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Y'all already know the deal. We ain't gonna go through the time zones because the last time we've been on, time change is happening, it's killing everyone still. I still haven't adjusted still. I know it's been weeks. I still haven't adjusted. But anyways, life has been lifing, people. Let's be serious right now. Life has been lifing for both of us right now. But we're back.
And it's
That's
not
all
an
I gotta
April
say.
Fool's. This is actual. It's actually tonight. Yes, it's not April Fool's. Yeah, Clemens. Yeah, it's been. Oh my God, life is life so much.
Yep.
That's one of the things I would say. Um, with talent producers, there's the business. You got life that comes in and interrupts. And it'd be like you gotta get stuff done, and sometimes you have to put stuff on hold until the
Yep.
side, and you can get it somewhere back copacetic again, man.
And we're working on that.
Yeah,
Tonight I don't expect well tonight, who knows? I got a few things, but a couple of things, but I don't really think I have much to speak of.
yeah. I only got like one real thing to speak of, but
I
other
only
than
got
that,
I only got a couple of news. Nothing else is exciting.
okay.
I'll let you talk more on the subject of how hard it is to struggle because our friend is struggling getting talent. If you know what I'm talking about, been watching his posts. I'll leave it there. Anyways, with that being said, let's get to it. So, for people who haven't noticed, our friend Reagan is finally having a cat fight. Finally, against another person that our friend Kaiser knows very well, Rojo. That's gonna happen June 1st. I think it was on again, then it was off again. It's back on again.
Yeah,
The question
yeah.
for me,
So
the question for me is not going to be Reagan because it's very obvious to me that Reagan wants this fight. The question is, will Rojo actually show up and start flip flopping? That's the question.
I think she's going to show up.
I
I
also,
think
that's my question.
I think she's going to show up. So yeah. So like with both ladies, we give an open invite to come to the show. Yeah. So
Please.
we both have an open invite. So
Yeah,
before
yeah,
the
that's a
fight.
backstory that we need y'all to say to say it to others. I'm not gonna say anything. That's between y'all. But like you said, this is an
I'm
open
no
invite.
the point of coming on the show would be to promote the fight. Would be a thing of and then explaining why should the sponsors support it. You know, that's the thing. I mean, that's really why we do this.
I
So
already know. I'm good with Reagan. I want to see what Rojo's point of view is in promoting this. That's what I want to hear.
mm-hmm.
So that should
So
be interesting. And also, our friend, for people who don't know, Lil Rampage is finally coming back after being away for a while. I don't know if I call this a cat
maternity
fight.
leave.
Huh?
I got maternity leave. Also
Yeah, I
maternity
don't
leave.
want. Yeah, yeah. I'll let you say that. After being away for a little while, she's finding a new person named Fiala Diablo. Anyways, it's supposed to be May 16th. I think she's charging $40 for that one. The rules are kind of gray. I don't know. So this girl is kind of a new person. So there's certain tactics that can be used. I'm going
But,
for some of you people, for some of you fans. I know who you are. I ain't mentioning your names. Just telling you facts after speaking to her, through DMs. So that's all I'm gonna say.
and again, for both of them, more than welcome to come on.
That's it. That's all I got for you on that. And then our
That's all you
friends, Sweet Fox, love him, dear friend. Yeah, people. Now you understand the struggle. Man, struggling to get people. He's got a lot of contacts, but it's not working. It happens.
yeah, I mean, I don't know when you could say that we've been officially back, or how long we've been officially back, and back to normal or whatever pre-pandemic levels is. I think there'll be a small smidget that would never be
Agree.
completely um, again.
Agree.
Um, I think it's at a point where, yeah, because if you look at talent, it's like, why would you do it unless you love it? Why would you do it unless you at least like it?
Mm,
Other than that, why else would you do it? And I think the other part of it, I think that's part of it, and then I think the other part is the I would say the mentality
mental.
or the tabooness or the lack thereof of women in physical combat.
Yep.
Uh, like as you look at our European colleagues, killing it. They've been killing it
For years.
30 years. 30 years.
Yep.
You look at our even some of our colleagues north and south of the border.
Yeah.
Killing it. I mean, that's where it is. It's just that in America, we just sometimes can come off a little too prissy and be like, well, if I ain't got to do it, I won't do it. I'll go do something else. Okay. When other countries, they're like, man, shoot, what? And I get,
Exactly.
and especially if you come from a country where, I know there's a lot of countries where the men, all the men have to serve at least a year or two in the military.
Facts.
Depending on which country you come from. I don't know that and some countries apply to women, or if women have the option to join or whatever.
Mm,
And again, it seems like for a lot of these women, either they come in trained knowing, or it could be just a classic. I call it osmosis training, where you grew up and you had older brothers or your dad and your uncles, and all the men in your family knew how to do what they call combatives, which is hand to
yep.
hand combat military training. I would think in some kind of way it would pass down to the girls in some shape, form, or fashion.
I
You know,
agree.
whether they just roughhouse with their sisters or they teach them, hey, you need to know self defense in case somebody pop off or whatever. Or you're in countries where we either fight or we don't live the next day.
Hmm.
Whatever. I just think it's just a mentality thing. So, which is why you can have women who look drop dead gorgeous, and they sit there and they literally could be killers, like literally verbatim, and will take you out. Um, don't let the smile fool you. Um, yeah, so it's just like the thing about anytime you see like any of those action movies where the female is like a foreign spy or assassin or nothing. She ain't no ugly chick. She look like
No.
just like any one of them girls you see on Fighting Dolls, Fighting Divas, DWW, APL. That's what they look like. Where's the lie?
There is
There's
not
no
one.
truth to it. Or IFW is another one.
Yep.
Where's the lie? So, um, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's now you have your dry spells and you have your good runs. You have sometimes where you have more talent than you have work, and then there's a lot of times, more often than not, you have more work and there's no talent, or you got the same six. That's why if you look at a lot of the producers in this industry, they have pretty much maybe one girl that they built the entire thing around.
Mm.
And you lucky, completely lucky, if you can say you had two. Oh my
Mm.
God, yeah, yeah. But you look at the legendary ones like DWW, you can say Eva, Jaina,
Yep.
uh, 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 Edith, uh, Edita,
Yep.
Editha and
Yeah.
TH, yeah,
Edita. Yep.
Adita. Yeah,
Yep.
there's a few that you can say you can build a whole thing around, man. It's just
Yep.
yeah, no, it's just it is what it is. It is what it is. So
Yep.
I'm not surprised because for now I will say this: the fact that there are, and I've shared this in the pod and in the episode before about how the growth of women in high school wrestling,
Mm.
because there are so many girls that
Mm.
do wrestling, and now they got to go find something else. Now,
Hmm.
what do they do? Do they do WWE? Do they do um, MMA? But
Yep.
where do they still get that outlet? Because it's not like they just die off afterwards. Now to get them all the way into catfighting, I think that's a big jump and a big stretch. And if
Yep.
you had over 21,000 ladies in 2004 who wrestled in high school,
Mm.
would it be out of bounds to say you could get a half dozen? Maybe. But
Yeah, that
it's
sounds
just
about right.
how do you get? But my thing is, how do you get all the way over there? Because let's be
Mm.
honest, catfighting is such a niche, is a fetish, and is a niche, and such a niche to the point it's so buried deep underground. For lack of a better term, like if you look at, let's say for example, Gary from Fresh Fight, y- you'll have a better chance of doing that and be reasonable. And again, he's
True.
one of the examples of what I just mentioned. He
Yep.
really had two good. It started with Tara, and then he got Jamie.
Yep.
Oh no, is it Jamie? No, not Jamie. What's it? Yeah, I think it's Jamie.
Sammy.
Huh?
What you talk about, Sammy, or who did she start with?
Sammy.
'Cause-
Sammy. Jamie is the girl from Carolina Catfights. My
Yep.
bad. Apologies. But Sammy, yeah, he had Tara and he had Sammy, and then he had a small little overlap where they
Yep.
overlapped. There's a
Yep.
small little like year and a half where they overlap. But other
Bingo.
than that, everything it started out with Tara, and then was his first main girl, and then he got Sammy, and then Sammy he just built a whole
Yep.
empire off of her. So that's why I'm
Facts.
like, and now you got Stina, gave him that rival that they done had
Yep.
about a dozen fights, and
Yep.
and it's just that's what I'm saying. You have a better shot of doing that than tap. If you really want to like have something sustainable, have something public, have something where people can just walk through and say, "Hey, you know what? I want to do that." And even for him, it's not like he's going to high school tournaments and saying, "Hey, when you graduate, come join us."
Yeah.
You
It
know
don't
what
work
I'm
like that.
saying? So it's like it's even to get to him is a process. For girls who just feel comfortable just to continue in combat of some sort. We hadn't
Right.
even gotten all the way into a catfight or something more of a no holds bar or little
Yep.
rules or topless. We
We're not there yet.
That's so many. Yeah, that's not there yet. So that's why it's like if you want this, you want to stay in it. Chances are, ain't gonna be ladies from here. The best stuff out there are the overseas, and that's what it just is.
Hmm.
That's what it just is. I remember there was a time where Asian Connection dominated the whole market.
Yep.
Dominated. It was definitely this was had to be the early aughts
Yep.
where Asian Connection. I remember clearly a 3 year stretch where it was them and just about nobody else. I mean, they was pumping out videos left and right, and it was like, who else was that? Was there anybody else? Yeah. So, but yeah, that's where we at now. Actually, that kind of leads me to the point I wanted to make. So I'm going to share, if I can share the screen here. I'm going to share um a producer, one of these people that we're talking about.
Uh
I
huh.
do want to spotlight. So what I want to spotlight is I want to spotlight Abby Do
Yep.
88 on X,
It's
also known as
definitely worth the spotlight.
Black
Definitely.
Beauty Brawlers.
Hmm.
Um, so what I want to bring up is this particular fight. So they have a new tournament called the Nasty Girl
Yep.
tournament. I would say so. The first real cat fight. And let me pause the sharing, so you can see it. So the first girl tournament that they did, um, which I think I know I bought at least one fight out of that or something like that. Anyway, the first girl tournament that they did was great. It was hard hitting. The samples and all that was great. Um, and I was like, okay, this is not bad. This is not bad. And it really, to me, put the stamp on what they could be.
Mm.
And so now with this nasty girl thing, seeing the one of the so it's four fights in it. So of course I was going to start with chronological order. So starting with the first fight, I'm going to say which is now. Let me go back and share the screen. Screen. And now you know how I feel about being prisoner of the moment.
Yep.
So that's
Yes.
why I made it a point to sit on this for like over a week before I
Gotcha.
even made the designation. I would say this fight here, uh, uh, against Cynthia, who's here on the left, and Yvonne on the right. This is round one, and this is Catfight UK's take on it.
Hmm.
But in my personal opinion, and then I think this is another point where he made, they got some samples or whatever. In my personal opinion, this fight, now I haven't seen the other three yet. I'm
Gotcha.
working my way through the second. I haven't went through three and four. In my personal opinion, this fight is going to be on my top five of all time.
Wow,
This
that's a huge
particular,
statement by you.
that yes, and I'm talking about as somebody who I probably I can't even tell you how many fights I watched. Like I first got in, it was '99 when I got in 1999. So you talking about in over 25 years,
Yep.
it's a top five fight for me. Now I've had other people um mention that they said that I see Clem kind of dropped off there. I'm gonna wait till he come back, but yeah, so it's a top five fight for me. The level of tenacity that's shown by both combatants is I'm waiting because I want Clem to hear this. So let me see. Let me give him a second to jump back in. Either his phone or his connection or something went dead. I'll give him a second. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you can buy it on, like I said, at AbbyDo88. You can follow the page on X. They have a loyal fans site that has all of their fights on it. Everything from round one, they got round one up. So I don't know if they're in the process of shooting round two or what have you, or when round two will be released. So it's a four girl, just to kind of explain the setup. It's a two, four, six, eight. It's an eight girl tournament, four fights, and um, and the winners advance the fight in the second round, and then the winners from that will advance and fight and in a championship round. Um, what? And then that's how the first one was set up. I'm sure the second one would be probably not much more different. The the one thing, this would just be me personally, I would love to see, and I may need to send this in the chat to Black Beauty Brawlers is this is just me. I think it would be interesting. This is just me to see a third place match, and the reason why I say third place match is you can tell a lot by someone, or especially in a tournament setting or whatever, when they feel like they have nothing to gain or nothing. I don't want to say nothing to gain because you always want to put your best foot forward anytime. But as a consolation, just trying to see, okay, I may not win the championship or whatever, but can I still be a rebound from a loss? Because not all losses are equal. You can have someone you just got matched up with the wrong girl, and on that day you just got destroyed. And then you have other matches where, hey, y'all might have fought tooth and nail, and you lost by a point. Now it's like God, you know. And if anything, if if these girls are the type of competitors as I've seen so far, they strike me as the type of girl is that if I lose, I'm going to be chomping at the bit till the next time I can put my hands on someone. So, or you're going to be one or two ways. Either you're going to be wuss out and you just quit and be like, you know what, I don't want to do this, or you're going to be like, I'm chomping at the bit. I would love to see just for the heck of it, a okay, he's back, so let me bring him in.
If I can get this
Hey,
phone.
yeah, I take it you went dead there. So,
No, I was dead. I had to answer a phone call. Go ahead.
oh, okay. Yeah, so I was trying to hold off. I was talking about the schedule. The scheduling. I say if it's anything like the first real cat fight tournament they had, how they had, you know, they had 8 girls. Actually, they had 10 girls,
Hmm.
but something happened with one of them. I think either one of them got pregnant or something. Something happened with one of them
Hmm.
to where they didn't advance or they didn't fight or something. I don't know, or they didn't advance in the tournament. But anyway, but they got 8 ladies. You got 4 matches, and the winners. My understanding is the winners for each is supposed to advance
Yep.
to the next round, and then there'll be 2 fights round 2, and then the winners of those 2 will fight for a championship
Hmm.
round 3. I was saying before, trying to kill time before you came back. One thing I would like to suggest, and I may bring this up to Abby do is I would like to see just for the heck of it. I would want to see a third place fight.
Mm.
Have the 2 losers around 2 fight each other. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes you see more, you learn more after loss than you do after win.
True.
So I would love to see the girls who lost because round 1, okay, is round 1, but round 2, it's like I know if I win, I go to the championship. If I lose, eh,
Mm.
I'm out. And I was saying that how all losses are not the same. There may be
Mm.
some where you may have got dusted or you got matched up with you had a bad matchup with a girl on that day, she just waxed you. And then you have other fights where you might lose 4-3. And then you lost by the 1 point and it's just gonna sting you. And if these girls are the competitors that I've seen like in different clips and stuff, it seems like they are. I would think if I lost in the semifinals and I had the chance to go to the championship and win and I lose, I would be steaming mad until the next time I could put hands on somebody. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
It's like I would love to see a third place match because I would want to see if these girls really have what it. How will you rebound? How will you respond after having lost?
Mm.
Um, that would be just me. Now you got some folks you can go real deep into it and go like double elimination. But with 8 girls, that could be a lot. That could be a lot of matches to do
Yeah. It
double
is.
elimination. Because now you talk about a whole losers consolation bracket. Because now you're
Correct.
going to take what would it be the next 2 girls who lost? Yeah, it's a mess. And you don't want to have a set where they have rematches inside the tournament. Nah, 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 nah. Just have it. Okay,
Gotcha.
you win. Yeah, kind of not unlike a lot of basketball tournaments. You win, you on this track, you lose your first one. So really, the most important match is your first match because if
Yep.
you win your first match, you know, if you have 8 ladies, if you win your first match, worst case scenario, I will finish fourth. If you lose
Correct.
your first match, best case scenario, you'll finish fifth
Yep.
because you can lose your first match and then win the next 2.
Correct.
Now, would that mean you're better in and somebody else who was 1 and 2 on the other one just because they lost the first match? We don't know,
We don't know.
but that's the beauty of the randomness of it. I would just like to see, just for me, just for this tournament, I would love to see a third place match just to see the girls because what impetus would they have for fighting because they know okay I'm not in the title picture anymore, but you know would they want to still take that anger out on the other girl, or whatever, or like
True.
even with the fight that I just talked about, like the loser, I would love to see the loser against. I'll watch the other 3 and I'll tell you who I would love to see her fight against. but I would just love to see her immediately against one of the other girls who lost or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
just because she got to be like the next time she get out there and put her hands, she's going to put her hands on somebody. You can't have them be in the fight. The thing that I said the reason why I'm gonna make it top five because that's what you dropped off. The reason why this is top five is for me. This is just for me. Everybody has their own biases, have their own idiosyncrasies, have their own whatever nuances or whatever. I think what it comes down to is representation matters. Representation matters, and I think scarcity matters as well. I would like to say most of my stuff on my probably all time five are probably all different for different reasons, especially if it was something that was groundbreaking or something that we had not seen or a level of violence that we had not seen previously before.
Mm.
I do not remember the last time I saw. Now I will say, girl fight next door. Those girls is that especially. Oh my god, it was. I want to say Chaos's first fight or whatever
Mm-hmm.
was the one that had the rematch.
Yep.
I think it's at that level, that first one where these
Yep.
girls went tooth and nail, and they really had with no abandon, for no abandon. They were just
Yep.
going in. This fight to me had that same energy level, but they really went to the fight was 20 minutes. The fight was 20 minutes. How both of them made it as much energy as they spent for 20 minutes would just be beyond me. I I mean, there is a winner and there is a loser, it's decisively, but it's just, I'm sitting there like, it reminded me of there's this one video clip that's gone viral of this two ladies fighting, and they look like they're, I don't want to guess the age, but they're older ladies,
Mm.
or they're older. I'll put it this way: they're definitely older than 30. But
Mm.
one of the girls is getting that work. She's just getting worked over and worked over and worked over, and I'm assuming the husbands was watching or
Mm.
viewing it, or their significant others, partners, whatever you want to call it, domestic partners, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one who was losing, she's just getting wailed on to the point where the guy tried to intervene, and was like, "Look, hey, like throw in the towel kind of thing." And look from the lady who was losing was so mad. She got more mad about him trying to stop the beating than it was like, no, look, let me continue to fight this out. Yeah, I'm getting my head handed to me, but you don't. No, no, no. This is what we decided to do. You don't get in the middle of this because I even sympathize with the guy because I was like, ooh, I just most guys just can't take seeing a woman just getting just what I'm
Tr-
talking about. She
True.
just got dragged. It would have been like I would say, I'm just only using this reference, the Tilly versus Fiona fight or the Tilly versus Mila fight.
Mila fight.
Oh my God. It's like the level of punishment you can have one girl take, and it's just like, oh wow. But anyway, and that's what I loved about I love the energy. I love the fact that these girls seem to have, whether it was real manufactured or whatever, the angst that they had toward each other. The sound, the sonic sound of the blows, where I'm like, boom, 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 you hear. And it's not like, oh, let me get this. No, I'm talking about we wailing. And it just, and especially with them being small, petite, and that size, it's
Mm.
like, there's no way you should be taking that kind of, either one should be taking that kind of beating. The way they was beating on each other. I'm sitting there, it's like, now with smaller girls, usually it's a lot more frantic pace, it's a lot more energetic. It's not like a lot of times when you get with bigger girls, it could be more slow moving or what have you.
Yep.
But with these two, it was just they was just going in and just going in and going in, and then the last part, this is just me. This is just a me thing, which I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I've ever even spoken about it on this podcast or Well, I might have spoken it in a way because we did talk about dream cat fights and setups. So
Yep.
the thing that I like is the most with the hair pulling is I've always wanted to see a full fledged knockdown drag out fight. And from looking from the samples, I think I'm gonna get this off of each one of these four. A full knockdown drag out fights between two ladies with natural hair. Um, and with most of the matches, the girls pretty much have more often than not natural hair, or if they have some weave, it don't last long. But when I'm talking about natural hair, I'm talking about that because if you look at as the the black diaspora,
Mm-hmm.
we have different hairstyles depending on what region, what area, or what country, or whatever.
True.
Like whether it's braids, whether it's knots, whether it's bantu knots, whether it's um, um, box braids,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's weave, whether it's perms, whether it's afros. I always wanted two girls with big full hair that just go at it, and it's just like to where they just pulling on it and reckless abandon, and how much hair got littered on that floor was I was dumbstruck how
Mm-hmm.
much hair that littered that floor after that match with both girls just pulling because as black women culturally, how black women just I know especially in America, and I would think the motherland is no different. How they feel about their hair is probably not much more different. But the fact that they had these, both of them had full heads of hair, just straight up. It ain't got to be in no style or nothing. Just having like I'm out here the glow, grow to the sun as I call it. It
Mm.
grows to the sun, like, and that's one of the beautiful things about black women, especially with the natural hair that just grow. I call it grow to the sun because
Mm.
most hair grows down, not grow
Right.
up.
Right.
So just seeing them two just go at it, and you don't see it in that intro picture, but when you look at them at the end when they done, and just the hair, and you just see all the hair on the floor, and it's just like, yeah, this is different. This is different. So it definitely goes up there in my top five just because of the essence and when these girls just went after each other with just reckless abandon. I am trying to punish you. Like they're trying to punish each other.
Mm.
And it's like both girls to me it seemed like they woke up that day and said, like they was prepared to like do battle. Like I'm not saying to the point of death, but no, I'm
Yeah,
not
we got
going
you.
there. No, no, no. But to the point to where, oh, there's gonna be a winner and a loser today. This ain't gonna be no tie game. No, we're going to fight. And one of us is just tired of beating. It was almost like, and I've seen fights where, and some of the better fights I've seen over the years, in 25 years plus years, are ones where the winner was. I've seen fights where the person winning quit because they got tired of beating on the loser just wouldn't give. This wasn't quite like that. It was like the winner won and the loser got beat, but it's like both girls were spent equally,
Mm.
when it was over. It's like, oh, but I don't know if a rematch is in order. I don't know. Let me see the other four fights, but I would love to see. I would love to see what the winner goes on from here, and I would love to see from the loser who will her next fight be, real fight. Because to be honest, if I was the loser, the one who lost in that match, I would not want my next fight to be some Rudy Poo custom. Like, oh well, we're gonna do a 2-on-1 where the girls get hog tied. No, 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 no. I need to get this anger out from losing this match. I need to go put hands on somebody like me. Like, let me sleep on it. Let me wake up the next day, get some food in my system, wake up the next day, or wait till next week till all the swelling goes down because you
Yeah.
took a beating. And as soon as I can, I need to get back in there
And lay hands
and
on someone.
and lay hands on somebody. whoever wants it, I don't care if it's an open challenge. I don't care who you get. Somebody's gonna get this work. Somebody gonna stand eyeball to eyeball across from me, and we gonna put this work in. So that's just me. I know I went long winded about this one particular,
Don't worry,
but
I got
when
you.
it's one of the five fight, one of the five best fights I've ever seen. Now, granted, I've been told, well, you got the other three, and some people like Catfight UK. No, I don't know if it was Catfight UK or somebody else that mentioned they think the second fight, which I'm halfway through, well, I'm a third of the way through, they thought that was better than the first one. I'm like, okay, well, we'll see. But from what I have seen so far, from the previews and what I've seen so far, we'll see. But that first fight, man, and for my vote, I think it's gonna be hard because it gave me literally everything I was looking for: height, weight, size, body composition of the girls,
Wow.
um, the way the hair was done. There was no frills, no pretenses. There wasn't any like
Ex-
dead action. It was
yeah, that's a perfect cat fight right there. No dead action.
if
Full out,
if
full out action.
and I think from a producer standpoint, I think every producer longs to make whatever's in their head as the perfect cat fight. I would say in the case of Girl Fight Next Door, when he talked about what was it chaos and
Oh,
God, it's the last one the chaos fought.
oh, what's her name? I forgot her name.
Oh,
That
I
was a
forgot
good
her
fight.
name.
That
But
was a great
that
fight
fight,
too.
I can see in the style that he was doing, that's probably the perfect fight. That
Hmm.
like the way he wrote the rules, the way he had the setting, the way the girls moved in the space, the way the action was, the way he moved with the cameras, stayed
Yep.
in sync. I can see for him, this is my idea. Because the thing is, you would love to have as a producer when it's all said and done, that you felt like you at least got one. Because
Hmm.
all fights ain't gonna be the same because whether the girls don't match or you think, hey, they look good, then they get out here and they just lay an egg,
Mm.
you know. Or it's just like there'll be sometimes it's like when I like you want the fight to be like this is what I dreamt of it when I decided to do this.
Mm.
And for me, that fight, the fight that Abidu put out is almost the closest to what I had in my mind or
Mm.
what I would have loved to have put out at least once. The girls to be able to fight to that level of aggression. And in this country, I don't know if I'm going to get that. But,
Mm-mm.
I'm just happy to say that I've seen it one, at least once. Um, yeah, that just was just a perfect fight. Um, yeah, so like I said, and just in case if people ask, I'm again that fight is in the top five, and this is in no order. I'm just going off from
Gotcha.
the top of my head. I would put the Andy Michelle fight
Hmm.
from
Crystal Films.
Crystal Films. I'm putting that fight on it. Now, granted, there was other fights later like Gemma and all of that.
Hmm.
That was maybe more vicious and more definitely longer than Andy Michelle. But I think the build up, the way Andy and Michelle was, these two that was just coming up the ranks, coming up the ranks, coming up the ranks. And at some point, would they ever meet? And then when they met, it was a good fight. Um, but it was classic because you had two girls who was, from a physiologically standpoint, had the curves, had the,
Mm.
like these are two Amazon. I won't say Amazon because Amazon would then they had to be like 5'10", 5. Like when you look at someone like Paris Love, that's an Amazon because she's how big
Yep.
she is. Her, Kyra, all them. Nah, nah,
Yeah.
nah, nah.
That's
Okay,
Amazon's.
but
Yep.
you talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about as far as your everyday girls that you would see just walking around, you just fantasizing, just being in catfight lingerie and getting into a fight. Boom. Okay, cool. Andy Michelle would be another one. I'm going to say I am going to have a Reagan fight in here. It's just a matter of which one. I want to say I'm going to say Reagan's first fight with Tilly,
Mm.
and I take that side. Now the Sarah Brooke ones might have been more better technically,
Yep.
but I think the fight with Tilly, the first one, was such a dichotomy: black, white, Irish, African American,
Mm-hmm.
coarse hair, fine hair.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, there was so many polar opposites in it, and I think for skill wise, I want to be honest. I think from a skill wise standpoint, that could have been one of Tilly's better fights. I mean, even though I
Agreed.
think her best fight was one against Mira when she
Yep.
did the Go Go Plata on Mira. I was like, oh Jesus! I'm like, who
Yep.
is this? Because Tilly came out like gangbusters that fight she did for Sweet Fights. Um, um, I'm trying to think. I don't think I have anything else from Crystal Films. I don't have anything from now the Black Sea Amazons. That's a whole different thing. Matter of fact, I don't think I
Jeez.
have anything. Truth be told, even though Kim Lee is probably my favorite fighter of all time, her and the Dedge, I don't have any of Kim Lee's fights where I would say the Anastasia, her fighting Anastasia was because Anastasia always tried. Oh my God, Anastasia would wear her emotions on the sleeve,
Mm-hmm.
and she would just like try the
Yep.
darndest. I will always give Kim a run for her money, but it just wasn't enough. The Luna fights was okay, but Luna then was not as savvy as Luna now.
True.
Um, um, I wouldn't put any of the Asian connection stuff up. I
Mm-mm.
wouldn't put Boxy Combat. I've always liked the look. Some of the girls I just didn't care for.
I agree with you.
Um, the Banking Crisis one was a cool setup. I love that. That's probably one of my favorite theme cat fight of all time was the Banking Crisis. How they had the team of the blondes versus the brunettes. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
to me it seemed more realistic than Foxy Air. Foxy Air to me kind of was like a little okay. That's a little too old. Okay, having stewardesses fighting each other, yes, but stewardesses dressed like that and with the
Mm.
that's
Mm.
jumping through a lot of hoops. That's jumping through a lot of fantasies.
Mm.
Heck, even the World Cup version even looked better than that, just because of.
True.
I'm just saying. Um, I'm trying to think. Like Mexican cafes, I would like to think Rodolfo has probably got one of his all time favorites with just Valentina and all them
I would
fighting.
think so.
I feel like I'm missing some obvious ones that is like it's gonna hit me in the head. Like, dude, why didn't you even say that? Um,
Any
Sarah,
ECW ones?
that's that's why I said I gave you the Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I haven't named it. I would say the Jimmer fight. It was okay. It was. I just think the way she got the final submission got the girl just to quit fighting. The one where she fought the girl with the dark skinned girl. I mean, dark hair girl with the orange top and
Brittany?
the Brittany was it Brittany and Gemma?
Yeah, I think so.
When she fought the blonde hair girl fought the dark hair girl with the orange top and the blue jean
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of someone else.
skirt thing.
I'm thinking of someone else. My bad.
Um, uh, um, ECNWC.
The other ones that come to my head are California Wildcats. Ah,
Oh
damn.
no, I'm not doing it enough. I'm not doing it enough. I would now. I told you that. the one of Cheyenne Jewel and
Dragon Lily.
Dragon
Yes.
Lemon. That's going to be on there. I got that. Andy and Michelle.
WBI.
This
Yep.
this fight that we had here, I'm going to say APL. I'll give you one match APL. Batu versus Nadej.
Yep. Yep.
Them two was going at it. Even though you could argue, and Hurricane was actually a better fight. I
Mm.
would say, um, actually, you know what? Nadej was just so good though. Nadej was I'm gonna scratch Nadej because Nadej was a class all by itself. I
Mm.
would give. I remember there was this one fight she fought somebody she didn't get along with, and it was whew. Zambia was another one. She fought this one girl, and it was. I want to say actually the and Hurricane Fatu fight
Mm.
was because there was better, closer in skill.
Gotcha.
Um, um, that would be for.
You got one more?
I'm trying to think. I feel
Yeah.
like I missed. Um, I wouldn't do any of the catfight Haven girls. I wouldn't do. Jen D was just a beast of a competitor.
Yeah, she was.
I mean, it's like everybody she fought is she just um sexy white women. Somebody, if she would have fought Lyric, I would have liked to see when they was both at their prime. It's just the sexy white. Everybody I seen her fight, she was just that much like overpowered and that much. Even Little Rampage and Gia Love, which are no trick and violence.
No.
Um.
She completely dominated both
Oh,
of them.
I know what the last one is. The last one would be the first Gia Love Valor fight.
Yep. Yep.
The first Gia Love Valor fight. It
I
was
agree
just
with you there. Whew.
that's probably outside of this fight I just talked about ad nauseum for 20 minutes plus minutes. That is the only other fight I would have loved to drink. If I could have made something even like that, I would have been like, you
Ooh.
know what, I'm good.
That fight there. Oh my
The
damn.
level of aggression, the
Yep.
level of violence, what the way those two was, yeah.
The
Because
technique, everything. It was.
yeah, they had it because I
Whew.
wanted to be where it's so equal you can't even tell. Like I wanted to be where at the end you don't even know who's going to win. Like just
True.
because they
I'm the
were just
same.
that balanced.
Same. I feel the same way you do, man. I love it. I'm
Um,
like you. I like it when it gets to the end where we don't even know who won the fight.
we don't
Two
know who
evenly
won the.
matched people. That's what we want to
We,
see. If you want the ultimate fans, Catfight Dream, what you said it. You said everything. For the ferocity, the intensity, the
yeah, because I'm
aggression.
thinking about Slap City. I hadn't seen all his stuff. Catfight UK.
I haven't seen
I
all this either.
don't remember any of. What I would have loved to see was Lola fight. Who was that? I wanted to see Lola fight. There was somebody I wanted to see Lola fight at Swifty or something. It was they had two black ladies. I
Yep.
would have loved to see them fight each other. That's just me.
Yep.
Um, I wouldn't put any of the SoCal fights on it just because it's
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
there's a rawness. Is there? Oh, I just thought of somebody I left out. I left out Fat Farah. I left out Fat Farah.
Jeez. I'm trying to think of any of his fights that's going to be on
He
there.
had some good ones, but if I
Yep.
want to say this is one of the five best. Now, Fat Farah, and this is what I'm going to argue. I will argue Fat Farah. If you look at all of the producers that's come after Fat Farah had his run,
Mm.
I can make a more closer delineation to that because the way he shot it, the way it was done, you can make a case. Everyday girls, like
Hmm.
when you look at all of them, caddy fights, girl fights next door, SoCal, Houston Hotties,
Yep.
Um, who else? Even Rodolfo and them. It's just that Rodolfo just had a better backdrop and setup.
He definitely had a better backdrop.
Rodolfo was more so. I mean, you look at good girl fight next door and Rodolfo, they closer want to get more closer to sweet fights, and
Correct.
that was no secret with that. But I can make a case where the style, the framing, the camera work is closer to Fat Farah than anything because he had that balance of. Now, some of the fights weren't good, or the girls weren't as trained, but it's always like that's the run of the mill you're gonna get. If you try to get any two girls to fight each other, chances are it will look more like one of those fights
Mm.
than anything else. Then you get the knockout, drag out, both girls fighting tooth and nail, come hell or high water. And it's going to be closer to one of those. I think Fat Pharaoh is probably my most favorite producer because I felt like every fight from start to finish, no matter how good or bad it was, I felt like I was going to get the same thing every time.
Yep.
There wasn't the ups and downs as you see with almost any of the rest of us.
Right. I
Not
agree
saying
with
that Fat Pharaoh didn't have no duds, but if he did, he showed and put them out.
you. This is true. This is true.
If he did, he didn't really put on. I mean, if I want to sit there and just really be deep, I probably can find one dud. But because
Hey,
I think he had
yeah.
like one fight where it didn't even last more than 3 4 minutes, and the girl was just ready to quit. But you
Yeah,
know,
he like, nope, I'm not doing that. Like you said, if
you know,
you're right, that every producer has a dud fight. We all
we all
it's gonna
have
happen, and sometimes it
we
don't
all
work.
have
It is what it is.
duds. We all have duds. Yeah.
Okay, we got anything else more we want to add? I'm surprised we even
Mm-mm.
got 53 minutes out of this.
Yeah. There's
But
plenty
hey,
of Gabrielle. I mean, we ain't been on in what God knows when, so
it's been like 3 weeks,
more than that maybe.
a month.
But
Hey,
yeah. So we got, of course, the next episode is
April when?
April 14th.
Hmm,
Uh,
interesting.
so
You know
we'll
what?
see.
You know what that week is interesting. The week before Easter, interesting. Okay,
Well, it's Passover week, yeah. So,
that's
yep,
it.
yep, yep. That's it.
Interesting. All right, people. We know that most of y'all will be watching this later, and when I say later, I'm talking about later in the week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe.
Yeah. I could be reached on X and IG. Yes, I still have them both.
You still got IG?
I still got. I know.
That's surprising to me. I knew you had X. That's all.
I.
This man been saying, you've been saying for time, and when I say time,
I
I'm
mean,
talking
you
about
know what?
years.
I may kill it the last episode. I did just be like, this is the last episode of the IG, and just kill it before the last episode. That's when you know
Oh,
it'll be the last episode. When I no longer have that IG, I'm like, I'm out. Because
and
I don't use it. I hardly.
you
I,
don't.
there's what I won't say. Okay, I won't say that. There's some people I DM on it.
There you go.
There's very few people I DM. There's about 3 or 4 people I DM on it,
There you
and
go.
some of them, and most of them is like former talent. You
Gotcha.
know, um, the truth be told, I got their cell phone numbers. I got for some of them, I'm friends with them on other accounts. So,
Yep.
like my personal account. So, truth be told, I could just kill it off and yeah.
Hey, each to his own. And I myself can be reached at Clem Okufo on X and Clem underscore AKUFO on IG.
Yes.
And as the man said, next episode, April 14th, 2025. That is it, people. If we have anything, if there's anything that has any further developments coming up, we'll let you guys know.
Right.
We could be reached. Our show, second and fourth Mondays, again at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Live from the parts unknown for from my guy Kaiser, for myself, Clement Kufo. It's a good night, everyone. Peace.
Peace.